What's up, guys? It's Scarra here from theScore eSports, and here with aphromoo after their recent loss. And I really wanted to ask, even though I hate the question, what are your initial thoughts after the loss? Like, what's just at the top of your mind?
Initial thoughts after the loss. Not much. Usually it's just disappointment. And then obviously then comes after what we could have done better for next time, what we could have done in that game, whether it be draft, some rotation, playing, team fights, etc., etc. So, and then understanding the meta a little bit more as well. And usually it's just about those things. Sometimes if you mess up the game yourself, cause you to throw, then obviously you'll feel bad for that. But that usually doesn't happen since we lose as a team. So just those things mainly.
All right, well, let me be a little bit more specific then. I noticed that you guys really were you gave the up Swain in the first game, and you decided to end up banning both Vlad and Swain in consecutive games, and as well as put a lot of focus on Trundle. Do you feel like your strategy going into the series was good, and it was kind of misexecution in game, or do you feel like it was a little bit like uh, more different than you expected?
Our strategy, okay. Going into the game, it was a little weird. Still got to understand the meta. Didn't really know Fizz was busted, obviously, until the first game. But it's like top lane carries with all the new mage changes and stuff like that is more prevalent now than tanks. So we just got to figure that out a little bit more since those champions are the current meta right now, and we're still trying to understand the meta in general. But other than that, that's really all we have to work on pretty much, and then I'm pretty sure everything else will fall into place when we go through scrims and stuff like that.
Like me personally, I'm not really too worried about CLG right now. It does look like you guys maybe didn't have a great grasp on the meta, but I still feel like you guys can obviously really recover. Outside of the very meta oriented stuff, like I noticed that you guys really put a lot of emphasis on Echo in your games. Did you feel like it came through? Like, did you feel like it really was that the top lane ended up overperforming over the champion, or did you feel that maybe like the Fizz was just much stronger than you guys anticipated?
Uh, Definitely that Fizz was much stronger than we anticipated. It's definitely a counter to Echo top, and it was before this patch even. And some regions picked it. I forget who, but that matchup in general is just Fizz favorite if he gets going. At least gets the snowball. We did 2v1 against it both games, and then we just lost consecutive fights where Fizz picked up a couple kills, and then Echo died first in those fights. So Echo really wasn't a impact as we would have liked it to be. So definitely gonna reconsider that.
Okay. And going a little bit far back into game one, I noticed that going into late game, like that game took a really long time. It ended up going to like I think 50 minutes, maybe a little bit over 50 minutes. And I noticed that entire time, no one ended up picking up like a Grievous Wounds debuff. You only had the Ignite, and neither Caitlyn or Victor were able to pick up Morello's or Mortal Reminder. Was that something that after the game's over that you guys decided that it was okay, or was that something that in hindsight you guys would go back and pick up one or the other?
It was after the game. I think we talked about that. Yeah, after the game, someone probably should have bought it. I could have bought it. How? But during the game, didn't really think about that much since we don't really play against sustained champions other than Maokai that we're used to. So next time, I'm pretty sure it will be better.
All right. Well, honestly, I don't really have too much else for you. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your fans?
Thanks, guys.
This is Scar from theScore eSports here with aphromoo, and honestly, hope you guys have a good night.